One of my favorite questions to ask women is, how promiscuous are you? And they'll give us a scale on 1 to 10. And usually it's around like a 2 or a 3. And then we say, how promiscuous your friends? And they'll say it's an 8 or a 9. Yeah. And it's like, no, your friends would say the exact same shit about you. And so I asked these girls, how many of you would have fallen for this? Sorry, all of you would. Let's show this. So ladies, I want you to go into this with an open mind. And I want you to watch this, and then we're going to get your reaction, okay?
How old is the birthday girl? The winner gets a prize.
The comments are AI generated. I activated meme mode where the audience is mean to everyone.
Oh. No, I'm not in my 30s. Who is that? Block that person.
Oh, thank you for the $80 donation.
Your bitches need to get your leech hands off Ethan.
Oh my God.
I then went to a rooftop, set up my live stream, started fist bumping, and didn't have to even say a word. Word got out that I was famous, and even the bartender wanted to see. If you want to experience what it's like to be the life of the party, check out my app, Parallel Live. I made a fake live app called Parallel Live that makes it look like you have tens of thousands of people watching your live stream.
Who are you?
Oh, thank you for the $20.
The audience is AI powered and can hear you and started donating. This was insane.
Oh, $5. Let's go.
She started telling everyone she made me all this money. Then I started getting mobbed by girls wanting to be in my live.
You want to be in my live stream?
Random groups of girls kept coming up to me, asking to hang out with me. They wanted my number. I've never experienced anything like this.
If you think they're beautiful, send a donation. I'll buy them a drink. Oh, thank you for the $10.
People started filming me everywhere I went. I felt like a celebrity. This girl asked me to put sunscreen on her.
This is for scientific purposes.
I look for live streaming with tens of thousands of people watching to see how people might treat you differently when they think you're famous. Once word got out that I was famous, people just started staring at me. And they just kept coming up to me.
Holy shit, you have so many viewers. Who are you?
I'm Ethan.
Oh my God. Viewers does he have? Who are you? Who the f are you?
I'm Ethan.
I then met this really cute girl and told her not to do anything too crazy because 20,000 people are watching. If you want to experience what's it like to be famous where people can't get enough of you, check out my app, Parallel Live.
God, this is such a social
Okay,
experiment.
ready? Right. Before I get your reaction.
I have so much to say about this.
Before I get your reaction, ladies, if you could all look at me here real quick. How many of you would have fallen for this? Raise your hand. It's hilarious.
I would have thought it was real. I would have thought it was real.
Fucking hilarious. Okay,
Yeah.
you guys none of you would have thought that was real. Got it? Okay, cool. How many of you know a girl who would have fallen for this?
I would have fallen. I would have thought
Yeah.
that was real.
So raise your hand. Raise your hand high if you know a girl who would have fallen for this.
Probably me. I probably would have thought. me.
You probably
Like,
would have.
cool, You know?
Okay. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
It's all good and fun, and I feel like no one here would have felt.
I'm so daft.
I tend to believe people like the minute they tell me something.
One of my favorite questions
gullible.
to ask women is, how promiscuous are you? And they'll give us a scale on 1 to 10. And usually it's around like a 2 or a 3. And then we say, how promiscuous your friends? And they'll say it's an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, your friends would say the exact same shit about you. And so I asked these girls, how many of you would have fallen for this? Sorry, all of you would. You would. If you would have seen it, you would have not known that he didn't have 75,000 people.
Well, but the reaction.
Yes, the reaction.
the reaction
I
was
agree with
different.
you that the
Yes,
reaction
yeah.
would have been different. Can you talk about this? So one of the things that inspired you was there was a kid who took the HTML version of his Instagram and then he changed the numbers on there. So he just took the screen copied it and then he just changed the numbers on there. So it made it look like he had like millions of followers, which got him into different events and stuff.
Yeah, so I was living in New York City and I had this idea. So it was like COVID just hit, right? And I moved to Florida and I knew this kid who was like, oh yeah, I did this video of like, I changed my Instagram based on like the web page and I made it look like I had more viewers or more followers so I can get into a club. And I had this idea of like, okay, that seems interesting. I didn't know anything about live streaming. I just started doing social media, had no followers. And then I saw like this live streaming thing on TikTok. I'm like, oh, I could make an app that looks just like that. And I could probably go out and like people probably let me in the clubs. So I built it in like 15 minutes. I built it. I went out that night and it was just like, people lost their freaking mind.
It worked too well.
It was unsafe how well it worked, right?
It would work even better, I would say, in an Asian market.
Oh yeah.
Having just competed in Cambodia last year, it is fascinating. And I spent about 6 months also in Shanghai. This is about a decade apart. We were just talking about social media fatigue, right? that is non-existent there. They don't care if the metrics are faked. They don't care if your followers are bought. They don't care if you have little engagement.
That's wild. I see girls banging dudes who have fake Rolexes constantly, rented Lambos constantly. And my favorite one is those 23 women who wanted to sue this one guy who for impersonating Lionel Messi, and he slept with all of them.
Oh, what?
When I have this discussion with people about whether or not status is real, status is not real. Status is only perceived. It's intersubjective reality. You all know Harari wrote a book about this intersubjective reality, meaning like if humans didn't exist, there would be no status.
Yeah,
right? If humans didn't exist, there'd still be rivers, lakes, and trees. But if humans didn't exist, there would be no status. Status only exists because it's a subjective belief between all of us, just like the value of the dollar. If there were no humans spending dollars, the dollar would have no value. We agree on a value for these different things. That the thing is, while it isn't real, it also is the most powerful thing in the world. And so what happens is lots of really, really stuck up nerdy guys, like some of the guys at CES, they're like, I'm a better computer programmer. I should get a hotter girl because I'm good at computer. They think that because in the world of computer programming, for the most part, it is a meritocracy. Right? Not when you get into the marketing side of it, but it is a meritocracy. When it comes to the idea of dating, clout, status, it is not a meritocracy. It is whoever can fool the most people.
That's true.
Right? What is some of the craziest reactions that you've got?
It's crazy. If I use this in Europe, they lose their freaking mind. They can't, like, they don't have influencer fatigue like the US does. Maybe I think in like Miami and LA, we're kind of tired of the whole influencer thing a little bit. But in Europe, they're just like, oh my God, I've seen you on it. Like I've seen this concept on Instagram. Like, who are you? And I have videos. I've told him about this. A woman, she had a wedding ring on. She took the wedding ring off. She's like, oh, you're a famous streamer. I go, no, yeah, I am, but like, you're married. And she's like, no, it doesn't matter. We're fighting.
It's
crazy.
Wait, what was her nationality?
I think she was Mexican. She was Mexican.
Yes.
And then the night goes crazy because I tried to actually get away from her because she was kind of freaking me out, and she wouldn't leave me alone. And then she's like, as I walked away, eventually she was like, if I was in Mexico, I'd have you killed. I'm like,
oh
my
God.
God. I literally have it on video. It's insane. Yeah.
How many guys have fallen for this?
Well, it's so funny because when I first made it, guys were like, they'd always invite me to like their section or their table because they thought that like by having me there, more girls were going to come.
Right. Because
I was like the magnet. Yeah,
it's clout chasing.
And that still happens today because I do have a large social following. So that still happens today where they're like, I definitely think like some of my friends like me because of the social following and like the attention that I bring them.
Right.
People love a winner.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So that was you on the video?
Yeah, that's me.
That was you.
I was, I was younger.
So different, mister. What happened?
I fucking have facial hair now.
That's me.
I'm just playing.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about like followers and stuff like that. I mean, if you know anything about analytics when it comes to like YouTube and stuff like that, followers, subscribers are all vanity metrics. The only thing they care about is like, what are your impressions? What is your click-through rate? And like, what is your like audience retention? Those are the only analytics that matter on like YouTube and like, especially for streaming. Like when I see people who have like 8 million followers, I'm like, oh, great. And then you look at the views on their videos and it's like, they're in like the 20,000s. And like, dude, for you having that many subs, you should have way
what I
bigger
heard, like
views.
if you get signed in any like music label, they actually buy your followers.
Well, they buy your view. Yeah. Now, here's the thing that's really nuts is that like if I was doing a business deal or if Ethan was or if Rollo was, we would go do research. We would not get fooled by this. If somebody came to me and had 12 million followers, I'm like, bro, I've never heard of you before. I would go Google search terms. I would look up Social Blade and then I'd look up engagement per app and then I'd be able to tell. And by the way, sometimes like it's these guys who are like they worked in solar and made a couple $1 million. They made a bunch of money in crypto and they're trying to buy their way onto a bunch of podcasts. I don't mind that. That's a hustle. I'm not talking shit on people like that if you want to do it. The problem is it's these guys who like, because they didn't create their own following, they want to go on everybody else's show. That's hard because it doesn't help anyone. Does that make sense? Yeah. It doesn't help anyone. So the reason why I bring that up is because 99% of the time, no one does that.
Make no mistake here, guys. I didn't make this app to try and get laid. I don't think I've ever slept with any of these girls in these videos. I make the app to make viral videos and then the app itself, it works. It truly does work. You pull out the app and girls go crazy, but the app made millions of dollars and I was able to like not work ever again because of it. So for me, it was more like I had this funny idea. I wanted to be a social media like person because I wanted to stop working at TikTok where I was an engineer and I saw how many people wanted to be like live streamers. So I was like, okay, wait, I can probably make something here. And I made the product and like I do market it in a way that goes super viral. But in the end, like the person is like, oh, I did all this hard work. Like, why does this guy have all the success? It's like, well, I actually figured out a way for someone to have this immediate, like it used to be only celebrities ever experience this idea of people like gnawing for their attention. Like, who is this person, right? Celebrities would do this, right? Celebrities get this affection. Well, now for the first time ever, you can download an app and get that experience and that most people, like 99% population have never had, right?
Yes.
So that was the innovation that people like just don't get. that's one thing I've noticed is like if you're a creative person and you have a creative process, people will never, if you stop me midway through a video I'm making or a concept I'm building, and I told you what I was doing, you'd be like, you're going to do what? You're going to fake a live stream? Like, you're fucking crazy. But then when they see the final product, they're like, oh, that's genius, right? And that just tells you who's like really creative and who gets it and who's just like a consumer, right?
Yeah, when you if you were to explain the idea of this app to me before seeing those videos, I would have believed you that it would have worked. Just because I've seen
you get it.
Because I'm also in the like clout chasing capital of Earth, right? I'm in Las Vegas, right? And so that's that. When you explain the idea, I'm like, that is the most. I'm stupid for not even doing this. That's pretty incredible.
And what I've learned actually is so fascinating is like when people want selfies or photos, and I've also hung out with like people that I think are like celebrities or at least known. A lot of times it's not because they love that. And I used to think like, oh, you want a photo with someone because you like their work, but that's what it was. It's actually like we don't really even care about your work. It's actually I just want to be seen with you because I know people will appreciate that. They'll think I'm cooler because I'm with this person. And I never knew that was a thing until like I saw it firsthand.
Yeah, they're stunting on their friends from high school. It's
Exactly.
Like, hey, I'm here at a better party with cooler people than you are, and then because of that, now I get more status. And then their friends like, oh, look at she's acting all brand new. It's like, yeah, but you're watching. That's the point. It's like you're watching. Like having people talk shit about you, bro. At first it bothers you. Like when you start write a book or start a podcast or whatever, and then after a while you just start seeing the correlation with, especially if you have niche content. A lot of people are just going to disagree with what you have to say. Yeah,
never to your face though.
Guys, what do you think about all this?
I do live streaming on TikTok, and there's a lot of politics in it with who has motion, who has views, who has people who actually engage in their live stream, and it's a lot like that. That's just with the live streaming. And I can say that too. I mean, I don't know about your guys' platforms, but I'm assuming we all have pretty huge platforms, and I feel like with that, people do treat you differently, want to hang out with you, they do want to be your friend just off of that alone. And sometimes it's hard to tell what's genuine, what's not.
You become like a mini celebrity.
Absolutely. I mean, we live in that time of people want to be noticed, and if they can hang out with you and get the attention that they want, then they're going to latch on to you. You know,
it's kind of sad to me though. It feels very just low identity behavior, right? Because you feel like, okay, well, I haven't accomplished enough, so let me try to kind of rub elbows with somebody. And I think that's all well and good if it's like truly well-intentioned, but probably 0.01% of those interactions are well-intentioned.
I'm not interested in people who are celebrities. Like I would like to. I met Dave Chappelle twice, and I wanted to meet him because I thought he was funny. I didn't care that he was a celebrity. I'm friends with Jeremy Piven, the actor, but I'm friends with him because he's hilarious and he's really good. I don't care that he's famous. Most of the time we hang out, I don't even take pictures. My buddy last night, Anthony Mackie, was at the guy who plays the new Captain America. He was at a Marquee on Monday. It's one of these situations where like when I'm listening to him, I'm interested in the fact that these guys are really good. Like Ethan is really sharp. That some of the ideas he came up with are incredible.
I was just wondering, but my goodness, I totally would have fallen for it. I mean, I've fallen for it in the past.
You fallen for? What do you mean you fall for it in the past?
Well, like buying followers.
Oh, people bought followers and you thought it was real.
Yeah, like at the very beginning of my Instagram.
Let me ask you something. So this is not, Ethan doesn't do this, but I've heard of guys that try to do OF collabs with girls, and then they fake their numbers on OnlyFans so that the girls, and I know girls that have come to me, and it's one of the funniest things because the girl then afterwards realizes that she ended up just having sex with some dude who had a large OF following, finds out that the OF following wasn't real, and she can't tell anyone because of how bad it makes her look. Literally, I know 3 girls that have been on this show who have literally told me that they've done that before. And so that's what I was thinking about, the fake clout, how crazy that is.
Oh my God, you can buy followers on
No, you just you just take a screenshot and you just manipulate that. Oh, you literally tell ChatGPT. You just say, make my numbers. Say that I make 400,000 a month on OF, and then like these girls are just like literally leaving their husbands to go have sex with this dude on camera. It's like it's crazy stuff like that.
So that's what I was gonna say.
Say it again, Lex.
I've had agencies do that, like say that, like show me big numbers or whatever. Say they have a big team, and then I work with them and realize it's one guy.
So
that happens a lot.